My name is Kian and I am 61 years old. I had thought that at this stage in life I had seen most surprises. I was wrong. Nothing could have prepared me for the day my son's fiancée, Lena, stood in my living room, hands on her hips, and told me I was responsible for paying for their wedding. "You're his father," she said, her tone sharp, almost accusatory. "It's your duty to fund the wedding." I froze, staring at her. My son Armin sat silently beside her, avoiding my gaze like a guilty child caught in the act. I struggled to form words. "No, absolutely not," I said finally, my voice trembling slightly, betraying my anger and disbelief. "I am not paying for your wedding. That is not my responsibility." Lena's eyes narrowed. "Excuse me." I took a deep breath. "I've worked my whole life to provide for my family, yes, but I will not fund someone else's choices, especially not at my age, after decades of working hard." She scoffed, her lips curling. "How selfish can you be? You're supposed to support your son." And just like that, my home, my sanctuary, turned into a battlefield. That moment was the spark that ignited a conflict I never imagined I'd face. Section 2, torn between love and principle. The following days were unbearable. Armin tried to mediate, his voice pleading. "Dad, it's just tradition. Parents paying for weddings is normal in some families. Maybe we can compromise." I shook my head, anger mixing with sadness. Tradition does not obligate me to empty my savings. My duty as a parent is to guide, support emotionally, and raise my son to be responsible. Paying for someone else's wedding is not part of that duty. My wife, Sophia, tried to soothe the situation. "Kian, maybe we can contribute something small, just to keep the peace." "No," I said firmly. "This isn't about money. This is about principle. If we give in now, they will never respect our boundaries." Every day the tension grew. Meals were silent. Conversations ended abruptly. And then one morning, my worst nightmare arrived in an envelope, a legal notice. Lena was taking me to court for refusing to financially support my son's marriage. I stared at the paper, disbelief and anger warring in my chest. Was this real life? Could someone truly drag an elder parent to court over wedding expenses? Section 3, stepping into the lion's den. The day of the first hearing, I felt like I was stepping into a storm. The courthouse smelled of polished wood, fear and authority. Lena's lawyer was ready, aggressive and smug. "Your Honor," he began, "Mr. Kian has a moral and social obligation to fund his son's wedding. His refusal has caused distress to the young couple, disrupting their happiness." I swallowed hard, then spoke clearly. "Your Honor, I have provided my son with everything necessary to live a responsible life. I have given love, guidance and support, but I cannot be forced to finance this wedding. That is not a legal obligation, nor is it morally justifiable to demand it." The lawyer's eyes narrowed. "But tradition." "Tradition is not law," I replied firmly, "and justice requires more than blind adherence to outdated expectations." Section 4, memories and regrets. As I waited for the verdict, memories of raising Armin flooded my mind. I remembered sleepless nights helping him with homework, cheering for him at soccer matches, and teaching him lessons about integrity, hard work, and respect. And now, here I was, facing not just a stranger but my own son, who stood silently while this fiancé demanded my life savings. I wondered how our family had come to this point. I loved Armin more than anything, but love does not mean surrendering one's dignity. Section 5, the courtroom drama. Weeks passed, each hearing felt longer than the last. Lena's lawyer tried every angle, emotional manipulation, social expectations, and even painting me as a greedy parent. But I stood firm. My lawyer, a kind but determined woman named Mira, reminded me every step. "Kian, you are in the right. Stick to the facts and don't let guilt sway you. Your integrity is your shield." Finally, the judge delivered her verdict. She looked at me, then at the young couple. After reviewing the case, she said slowly, her voice firm yet compassionate, "It is clear that while family support is encouraged socially, it is not legally mandated. Mr. Kian has fulfilled his responsibilities as a parent. No law obliges him to fund this wedding." Relief washed over me, but it was bittersweet. The courtroom erupted in soft murmurs of approval. Armin's eyes met mine, filled with shame and regret. I knew our bond had been strained, perhaps irreversibly, but I also knew I had done what was right. Section 6, rebuilding what was broken. Back home, I sat quietly in my favorite chair, reflecting on the ordeal. I realized that boundaries are essential, even with those we love most. Love and care do not mean allowing others to exploit you. Armin approached me cautiously. "Dad, I'm sorry. I didn't realize how unfair this was. I let her pressure me. I placed a hand on his shoulder. I know, son, and I love you, but you need to understand that life comes with responsibilities you cannot outsource, learning that is painful but necessary. Over the next few weeks, the tension eased. Armin and Lena eventually funded the wedding themselves. I attended the celebration, my heart a mixture of pride and lingering sadness. I had upheld my principles, but the battle had left scars. Section 7. Lessons learned. Life sometimes forces us to stand firm, even when it's uncomfortable. Love does not mean surrendering your principles. Boundaries are not cruelty, they are self-respect. I learned that as much as we want to shield our children from hardship, they must face responsibilities on their own. And no one, not even family, has the right to exploit kindness or authority. At 61, I thought I had seen everything life could throw at me, but this ordeal taught me a crucial lesson. Courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes it's the quiet voice at the end of the day saying, I will not compromise my dignity, even for those I love. Section 8. The moral. Moral of the story. True love and respect are earned, not demanded. Setting boundaries is not selfish. It is necessary for healthy relationships. We must stand for our principles, even when pressured, because dignity and integrity are more valuable than money or temporary peace. White heavy check mark enhanced features. Richer emotional depth and inner conflict. Cinematic courtroom tension and dialogue. Expanded family dynamics, Armin, Sophia, Lena. Stronger moral and reflective ending.